Drop 'em. One hook and I'll rock 'em. One more and I'll stop 'em. Call the fighter, I'll lock 'em. Up 'em. If he reach, then I'll pop 'em. Street sweeper, I'll wash 'em. Homicide, come and chalk 'em. Drop 'em. One hook and I'll rock 'em. One more and I'll stop 'em. Call the fighter, I'll lock 'em. Up 'em.
You are now tuned into the Boxing Bros. I'm Caden. I'm here with my co-host.
What's going on, everybody? It's the commissioner, a.k.a. Dr. Joe.
Yeah, I should have said I'm Dr. GMD today, but I'm going to go with Conspiracy G for this next segment. What's going on, everyone?
Mm-hmm. And it's your boy,
Ned DeLay.
You petty, bro. You petty. You see how G operate, world? Good morning, everyone.
We have a subdued TBE. So the first topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is the news that you've been hearing all week, but we haven't been able to touch upon this until today. Conor Benn tests positive for a female fertility drug. And so you've probably been diving into this all week, but we're going to just play you some clips and we'll dive in and give our opinion on this. So one of the first clips I'm going to play is something that Conor Benn said back in the day, and Chris Eubank Jr. posted it on his social media. So,
well, my nutritionist. First of all, the breaking news, as you've heard, about potentially that fight between Joshua and.
Actually, I just want to read what Chris Eubank Jr. wrote. He said, I really just don't have any words at this point. And then he wrote hashtag Chris Eubank Jr. Ben. And so this is an interview with Conor Benn on Sky Sports back in the day. And here's what he had to say.
First of all, the breaking news, as you've heard, about potentially that fight between Joshua and Miller being cancelled. How you've reacting as a boxing fan yourself?
Well, I just when I got to the gym this morning, I can't believe it. Biggest night of your life, biggest fight of your career. And, you get tested positive for a banned substance. It baffles me.
When you see boxers at level concern themselves with these sort of issues, especially this close to a massive fight, does that not concern you as a professional in that field?
Well, my nutritionist, think I'm not even, at world level, or my nutritionist has a go at me for taking vitamin C tablets if they've not been tested. So the team he's got around him should say, listen, check all your substances. You're earning a few good quid here, and why put that to risk?
Now, first of all, the breaking news, as you've heard about.
So that's what Conor Benn had to say when Gerald Big Pharma Miller tested positive for being substance. And that brings me to a point I want to make. You watch this show, you've seen us go at everyone who's ever tested positive. So if it was Big Baby Miller, if it was Jean Pascal, and we have two people who are Haitian on the panel, and they still went at these guys. So I don't want to hear anything about anyone saying anything about Conor Benn, because I notice like once people like someone and you hold them accountable, it becomes something. Nah, bro, we just doing what we do. All right. So here's Eddie Hearn, and here's what Eddie Hearn had to say when someone else tested positive with VADA but not UCAD, and then listen to what he says when his fighter Conor Benn tests positive with VADA but not UCAD.
But what is the point in signing up for drug testing if when you fail, everyone just goes, "Oh, don't worry about it, just let him fight"? The argument of, well, it's all right with UCAD is totally irrelevant. You sign drug testing with VADA, the best testing agency, in my opinion, in the sport.
The bigger issue here, Rob, is, in all honesty, is the technicality of VADA versus UCAD. British Boxing Board of Control do not acknowledge VADA testing. We had a very similar situation with Billy Joe Saunders, where he had an adverse finding on his VADA test. Massachusetts banned him. The British Boxing Board of Control said his UCAD test is clear. We do not acknowledge VADA. So they need to make a decision what they want to do. If they don't suspend him, which they haven't and can't, he is cleared to fight.
That's mad low.
You didn't hear it?
We heard it, but it's probably just the highest it could go.
That's the highest it was on that video. But he was in that video. He was basically saying how he tested positive with VADA, but the British Board of Boxing Control doesn't recognize VADA, so the fight should still be able to go on. But he was saying a different tune when it was someone else who tested positive. So I mean, and that video's out there. People can pull it up and see. All right, so we're gonna go to another video from Eddie Hearn, and this was 13 days before Conor Benn tested positive, and this was him speaking about a fight with John Pascal and Joshua Buatsi.
Problem with is bullshit. Got no problem with this fight ending on BT. What I've got a problem with is VADA testing not being in the contract. I can't let my fighter go in with a fighter off the back of John Pascal's failed test without VADA testing in the contract. Not. Yes, we've all written off to Margaret, and then once it's signed, we'll pay for it and get it done. Bollocks. I don't trust you in the contract. Bullshit. Got no problem with
He wanted VADA testing, the testing that doesn't matter, for a fight between Jean Pascal and Joshua Buatsi. And so the last video that I'm going to show you is how Eddie Hearn reacted when Canelo Alvarez tested positive.
Man, wake up, man. Wake up, man.
All right.
how long he's banned for. His reputation's finished in the sport. He's a great fighter, but who knows how long he's been cheating for. Should he be banned longer? Yeah. Should he be financially penalised? Absolutely. Like any crime, if there's no punishment, it's going to just encourage people to commit them. So if you're a young fighter and you're thinking about doping in the sport and you see Canelo Alvarez just get a 6-month fine with no financial penalty, I'll give it a go. I'll run the risk. I'm a Canelo and Eddie Reynoso fanboy, obviously. And I'm just in awe of Canelo Alvarez. I'm thinking, how good is this fighter? He can't be beaten. It doesn't really matter how long he's banned for. His reputation.
So that was Eddie. His thoughts on Canelo Alvarez when he popped positive, and then his thoughts on Canelo Alvarez once he left Golden Boy and went with Matchroom Boxing in the zone. So I'm gonna turn it over. I don't know who I should go to first on this one, man. I'm gonna go with Trill Dollar Bill first on this. Oh, Ned, you want? I'm not going. I'm gonna go.
Woo! Oh,
all right, I trust Ned. All right, go ahead, Ned. Go ahead,
Ned.
G. I was pointing up at G. I was pointing up at G.
Oh, you was pointing at G? All right, we're going to Spirit G first. Go ahead, G.
Oh man, you see, I was still compiling my thoughts, but hold on.
Oh, if you still compiling, I can
right,
handle.
Trill, go ahead, take it away, Trill. Take it away, Trill.
I'll go after Trill.
You know what I'm saying? I can hold him. Listen, it's just me, Trill Dollar Bill. I'm right off the bat. I'm gonna tell y'all where I stand for all you killers out there. You know what I'm saying? For all you killers, I'm willing to give the young man the benefit of the doubt. You know, I'm willing to give him the benefit. How many times has this happened with him?
I think this is his first time, right?
First time, okay. Maybe there's a mistake somewhere, right down the line, you know. But you know, I'm Dr. Trill Dollar Bill, the love doctor. You know, and let me hold this, Conspiracy G. Let me hold this.
I feel like you're going the same direction I was thinking. Mm-hmm. You know, go ahead.
They say if you look up what the fertility pills do for men, right? You know, it says the male fertility pills can change a man's hormones in many ways. These medications can get your fertility back on track by increasing the amount of bioavailable testosterone and decrease the amount of estrogen. That's what it can do. Now, two ways of this. The love doctor was thinking maybe him and his lady were trying to conceive another child, right? And his sperm count is a little low, you know?
I'm walking with you.
So I was thinking maybe that could be a reason why that this pill, because if you look at any effects, if does it make you any stronger or anything like that? No, there's no signs of that. But there is one fact that there is, though, that it does do. And I'm thinking maybe if it wasn't for that fact of him, him and his lady probably trying to have another baby, if it's not that, maybe it's the fact of gaining the weight. Because if you look at the side effects of these fertility pills, it is weight gain. So maybe he was having a hard time, bulking up and coming up in the weight. And maybe that's what these pills was used for. We don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. But
I like the first theory. Your second one, I'm like,
hey, they say with the weight gain, he got to go up in weight. So, hey, I would say maybe throw that out there, So, yeah, maybe those are the possibilities. Maybe, the one he's trying to use is the way of the gain the weight, or two, you know what I'm saying? Well, the one I was really leaning towards is maybe he was really just trying to have a child with his lady, and probably needed that. But listen, this is his first time this ever happened. They still under the investigating it. I'm sure things are gonna come out later. They gotta do a test, the ABCD test part. You know what I'm saying? That's what they gotta do. So we're gonna wait to see what happens. But I'm sure that this young man, give him the benefit of the doubt. It's never happened before. I'm not gonna jump out on the window on him yet. I'm just willing until I get more information. But to me, it just, on the outside looking in, the love doctor thinks he was just trying to bring more love into the world. If something came out bad, that's my take on it.
All right, Spirit G.
Before I even talk about Conor Benn, I just like to highlight some things about my man Eddie in the videos. Did he really say he wanted to ban Canelo for drug use?
Yes.
Who? Not he didn't. That's the old Eddie. that's old Eddie.
That's what he said.
Oh man,
he
I'm just saying,
Canelo.
Yo, Eddie, man, he has
old Eddie ain't today's Eddie.
Yeah, we got
Old Testament, New Testament.
All right, we got Dillian White. We got my man Billy Joe
Saunders.
Who else we got? We got now Conor Benn, and it's been rumored about my man AJ. I just had to throw it out there. Rumors though, you know what I mean? So I'm like, this dude, you got the nerve to even talk about Canelo's drug use, fam? That's kind of crazy to me. And then the fact that you flip-flop, like once he went from Golden Boy to you just flip-flop your whole tune. Now you talking about, yo, I've been on the Canelo bandwagon. Really? So I don't know, man. That's just funny, man. That just tells me you can't trust nobody in this sport. Yo, Eddie, you've been associated with too many fighters doing some despicable things. You might be the plug. Allegedly. But anyways, now back to my man Conor Benn. Now I gotta remove my conspiracy hat and I gotta put on my Dr. GMD hat on. I agree with my fellow Dr. Trill. My man was raw dogging, you know what I'm saying, and all the juices from his woman's pills, you know what I mean, got up in him. So then when he took his piss test, he failed it. Bomb.
So it climbed all the way up his urethra.
Probably.
So you realize you're not saying much about his manhood for starters, but you're saying that it climbed all the way up his urethra. All right, go ahead.
Man, listen. He was putting in work. You know what I'm saying? When you put in work, you know what I mean? Like residual effects, I don't know, man. Just because I'm gonna be honest. When I first heard it, I was like, damn, Conor Benn, say it ain't so. But when you find out it's about, they found a female fertility drug in there, I'm like, could it be, all jokes aside, could it be possible that if his woman is on fertility drugs and he has sex with her, you know what I mean? That maybe, the juices is just overflowing, you know what I mean? And in his system. I'm just saying. Think about
the views and opinions of Conspiracy G do not reflect the Boxing Bros as a whole and all the other faces you see on this.
I'm just saying, with all due respect. You know what I mean? What if he got that good? You know what I'm saying? Yo.
This segment can't be serious, yo.
Still going.
No, but real rap. Yo, come on. There's no possibility in it.
Yo, so you're blaming the WAP for this.
Yo, yeah. Yo. I don't know.
See, I am not going to sit here and let women be blamed.
I'm not blaming women.
And women get blamed. I am not going to be here for
listen. All I'm saying is, it's not like he's like, Big Baby Miller or Pascal. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is his first offense. And out of all drugs he could take, why would it be a female fertility drug? So to me, it kind of makes sense that, maybe this is the drugs that his wife's taking. And while he's taking care of business, situations happen, man. You know what I mean? So I'm willing to give my man Conor Benn this pass because it's so extreme and outrageous that I'm like, I don't think if a guy wanted to risk it all, I'm pretty sure he's not risking it with female fertility drugs, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure he'll use some HGH or something, and he don't even have the weight cut. This dude has to kind of, he's moving up to fight. So, he needs to do something that's going to build muscle. That's what I'm assuming if he wants to cheat. So, yeah, man, I'm giving him this pass. This sounds like one of those like mysteries that like kind of like the Dillian White B sample. We don't know what happened to that. I think with the B sample in this one, it might clear them. They might be like, you know what, the traces are so small, that we can't definitively claim that he intentionally tried to take a substance to cheat to beat Chris Eubank. I honestly think my man, he just doesn't wear rubbers and it's but with all due respect, hey man, children are a beautiful thing, man. I got kids, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not hating on Conor Benn for trying to build a legacy, but please don't do it on a buildup of a fight. You know what I mean? Like, and now that he knows, knowing is half the battle.
All right, TV.
That whole G section was rated R.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go to Trill round.
That whole G section.
Yo, Trill, you felt me on this. You said the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Trill. That's the G string section. Yo, your name G string on this one.
Oh, y'all are stupid. For me, I was reading up on the fertility drug he got that was called in the system is called clomiphene.
I think
something like that. And for what I see, when men take it just gives them a boost in testosterone to help their fertility and sperm count. So for me, I don't know how the severity of he probably got the crooked finger. You know what I mean? Maybe, man. He got the, you know what I mean? He got the neck questions. He got the neck questions. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Oh, I don't know what's going on with Conor Benn, but I know he says he's and everything. They should have advised him. They should have seen this. They should have been aware of this going on. And I'm just saying, Conor Benn, if you got fertility issues, you got the special ed. There's other ways. What?
Yo, bro,
ED,
y'all
man.
giving the views and
ED.
opinions of Ned the TBE do not reflect the
talking about
boxing world
ED.
as a whole and all the other faces you see
Nah,
on
I
this
feel you,
screen.
Ned,
Oh,
dog. I
my
didn't even do the
goodness.
research, Ned. I feel you, son.
If you got the ED, you get what I'm saying? if you limp in that department, man, I don't know.
Word up.
But
Word up. You know what I mean?
Conor, right now it's looking like I'm not gonna. If this pops up again, then you might be tarnishing your legacy and your father's legacy, because this legacy fight, you basically took an L in my book. What's going on, G?
Yo, but hold on though. Didn't Big Pharma Miller, wasn't he also on them type of drugs for the limp? You know what I mean?
Gas station pills, yeah.
Gas station bodega.
I'm just
He was
saying.
on, he was on multiple other ones too.
I hear y'all, but I'm just saying, could this be a cover-up to do the drugs? You doing the drugs all your life, then that one fight you gotta gain weight. You noticing your thing goes from meow to meow, you know what I'm saying? And then he's like, all right, let me start taking this female stuff to cover up all this other stuff. So just in case I get caught, I could be like, nah, I wasn't on no drugs. I'm just trying to have a son.
I mean, listen,
You know what I'm saying?
you just said you can't condemn him from trying to bring a blessing into the world. You know what I'm saying?
This is his first
Some
event.
people have these issues. That's why I said I'm not gonna hold him. He probably had a low sperm count. You know, that's something that we don't have to deal with. I don't have to deal with. I could just look at a girl and
I
she
could
gets
just sneeze on a
pregnant.
shorty. I could just sneeze on a shorty and have a child. So I gotta relax. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but if in fact you've been taking, roids and all of that good stuff and your thing stops working, I'm just saying, you know what I
It
mean?
could be the stress of the job, G.
All I know is it's his first offense. I'm willing to give him the pass because there's so many questions around this topic. If it was clear cut and dry, he cheating to advance, then that's not right. But if in fact it has something to do with his sex life, who am I to judge? I'm just saying. Go ahead, Ned.
Eddie Hearn stressing him out over there.
On that. I also read, what was it? NFL players have been suspended for taking this substance. And it matters on the doses. What levels was he overdosing on this substance? Because he could get an advantage, or we don't know Conor Benn's motive. But it's the first offense. It's questionable. It makes me look at him funny that if you're taking this and it's in your system, and you try to hide it. But I don't know. I'm not. We watching you now, Conor Benn. Next fight, we're gonna see what goes on.
When the Femi's in the system.
When the Femi's in the system. Ain't no telling will the puncher really kiss him.
Oh man. Yo, G, you been going.
Yo, y'all are bad influences, cuz I'm not here. Nah, but on a serious tip,
Go ahead, Katie.
On a serious tip, I'm gonna reel this back in. If you watch this show, I advocate for second chances. I don't believe that everyone's perfect. And in fact, Dillian White popped positive for something that he said was in Jack 3D. Tyson Fury popped positive, said it was wild boar meat. We had several people. Billy Joe Saunders said it was the nasal spray. Canelo Alvarez, clenbuterol in meat. The taco, whatever, the beef in Mexico in general.
So the beef's bad in Mexico.
So this happens, right? So my thing is, I don't want to crucify fighters, but at the same time, I do think there's a difference between forgiveness and accountability, right? Mm-hmm. So many times people want to go to forgiveness, and certain types of people are more willing to forgive than others. For example, if you're someone like me, I had to be disciplined my whole life. Some people can come and say whatever on the screen and get a pass for it. I can't, because when I say it, it sounds like bragging. Or when I say it, it sounds like arrogance, right? If I say I never drank my whole life, so I never had to quit using alcohol, right? That sounds like I'm bragging. as opposed to someone who quit. Or if I say like I've been disciplined my whole life, so I never had like issues where I had to lose weight, it sounds like I'm bragging, right? Nobody gives you credit for that when you're disciplined throughout. People only want to, you know what I mean? So it's like, take it easy on the people who mess up. But as someone who's been disciplined his whole life, when does accountability kick in? Right? Accountability should always kick in. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with forgiveness. I'm not saying don't help Conor Benn get back on his feet. But what I'm saying is he should be held accountable. So let's look at all the things that was said, for example, right? If he was trying to have a kid, or if his intentions were to reproduce, why didn't he report that from the beginning? You can report this stuff from the beginning. From the beginning, he can report that I am currently taking fertility drugs because I am trying to conceive with my wife. So if you test me, I'm going to test positive for this. There was also the saying that this drug doesn't give you any advantage. So if this drug doesn't give you any advantage and you're taking this drug purely for the purposes of reproducing, why wouldn't you reveal that you were using this drug from the beginning? I'll tell you why. This drug is on the ban list. Fact. This drug is on the VADA ban list as well as the UCAD ban list because they know that you do, in fact, gain an advantage from using this drug. It boosts your testosterone levels. There have been NFL players in America who have been suspended for using this drug. Robert Mathis is an example. And there have been a few wide receivers who've been suspended for using this for an example. So you have a D lineman who was suspended for using this. You have wide receivers who were suspended for using this, right? If you were an NFL player who did it the right way your whole career, who never cheated, and then these guys pop positive, you're supposed to say, well, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, or everyone. No, you feel like disgusted. You feel like, bro, I've been doing it the right way. These dudes been cheating. You understand? It's on the banned substance list for a reason. He didn't report that he was using it from the beginning for a reason, because you can't use it. You can't use it because it gives you a performance enhancement advantage. That's why it's a PED. That's why it's on the ban list. It boosts your testosterone levels. In gyms across America, there are people trying to find ways to boost their testosterone levels. That's what they do. They take antibiotic steroids. They take testosterone replacement therapy. They take hormone replacement therapy. They take HGH, and they take this female fertility drug. It's actually known that if you want to boost your testosterone levels to the max, you go see your doctor and you ask them to test your testosterone levels. If it's even a smidge below, you can say, well, I'm trying to reproduce. Can you give me something to boost it to the maximum allowable level? And then they give you that same drug that they gave to Conor Benn. So it's a performance enhancement drug. No matter how you try to slice the pie, it's a PED. Go ahead.
No, true.
Go ahead.
That was too strong. You gotta.
Yo, bro, you cooking. I'm gonna let you cook. But when you said it's a performance enhancement drug, all I can do is make you cheat.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So with that being said, right, I don't think that you should crucify Conor Benn. Freaking Big Baby Miller pop positive for like a cocktail of drugs, right?
Pascal.
Yeah. Now there's a difference, right? You say Canelo Alvarez, for example, he's in a country where it's well known that they put clenbuterol in beef. Canelo Alvarez isn't the only one who tested positive for this, right? Several other people have tested positive around numerous sports. In fact, they even changed the levels that would alert a positive test in these testing, because they understand that in Mexico this is an issue, right? If you're someone like Oscar Valdez, for example, who took something that may have been in a tea, right? And some tea does have it. He's saying it came from the tea, but it's something you can consume. This drug is something different, though. This drug is something that you have to ingest. So G talking about it coming from like the juices. I don't know, like, you know,
shot. It was worth a shot. You know?
Yo, you talked about it like it's an STD. So, she gave him for female fertility, bro. She gave him female fertility. Nah, what I'm saying is to not hold him accountable is disrespectful to the people who had the discipline to do it the right way. So I understand slipping up. People are always going to slip up. Nobody's perfect. You know, people have slip ups in life. But if I did it the right way, like my whole life, if I did the right way, building muscle and doing it, and this guy cheated, doesn't mean that I won't forgive this guy, but he has to be held accountable. And accountability is key for change. So I brought this up, right? Because it's been something that's impacted my life like tremendously. I've had family members who had alcohol addiction, right? And I had some of them who were able to beat it and some of them who weren't. But the first thing that allows you to beat it is accountability. The first thing that allows you to beat it is to recognize it and say, like, yo, I have an issue that I need to address. And then have the discipline, the courage, and the support to beat it, right? Now, if you're someone like, say, Conor Benn, who's really cheating, I mean, I don't know if he's cheating, but my point is, if he's really cheating, he needs to be held accountable. And he needs to look at himself and say, yo, I cheated. If he doesn't want to come out to the public and say it, he at least needs to look in the mirror and be like, yo, I cheated. And he needs to address those issues. Otherwise, he's going to be like Big Baby Miller, popping positive all the time. But the one thing I can't do is like just forgive without accountability. Like, I think accountability is important for the growth of said individual, said fighter, said whatever in life. So, like, you can't just be like, oh, someone makes a mistake and it's like, oh, I'm gonna forgive them. I'm gonna forgive them. Nah, you gotta hold that person accountable, and then they have to earn forgiveness. Like, that's the way that I see it. When it comes to Conor Benn, he's not the first, he's not the last. This is his first test. This is his first positive test. He's in a sport where you can take lives. Patrick Day dead. Irish Mikey Perez fought this guy. I can't remember his name. It was very difficult name to pronounce, but he beat him into the hospital. We can't say we care about the safety of the fighters. We care about the safety of the sport. And then they got this guy. You got Eddie Hearn. You got his team trying to get Chris Eubank Jr. in the ring to fight a man who has taken a substance that boosts testosterone levels. And they even mention it when they say, oh, yeah, we had our people look at it. It boosts testosterone levels, but whatever. Chris Eubank Jr. want to fight because he want to make money. Because he wants to make money. But if he gets in that ring and then Conor Benn does some serious damage to him and he seriously injures him, life-altering injuries, or he kills him in the ring, then how are we all going to look? That's what the board of British Boxing Controls is looking at. They're like, yo, we can't send him in this ring to do that. So, like, you know, I get it. It's like, you know, there's all these possibilities. But at the end of the day, what I know is that's a banned substance. If he was taking it for reproduction purposes, he should have reported it from the beginning. If he would have reported it from the beginning, he could have looked for a medical exception to take it. And then that could have been agreed upon from the beginning. Instead, it was caught. And they knew 2 weeks ago. They said they knew 2 weeks ago that his sample test positive. Why didn't they test the B? If Eddie Hearn is so sure that his B sample is going to come back clean, why didn't he push hard enough for them to test the B? They sat on it for this week. You know this fight's in jeopardy. You believe Conor Benn's really clean. I want the B sample tested immediately. No, he's looking for injunctions. He's looking to try to take the board of British Boxing Control to court. He's not looking to rest VADA to test that B sample, though. And all the B sample is when you go and you give a sample, they give you give them 2 samples that same day. They test one, they get the result, the other sample's the B. They can pull that out at any time and test it. Why isn't Eddie Hearn pushing for that B sample to be tested?
Yeah, and then the B sample goes to another facility to get tested.
Yeah, exactly. Why are they not pushing for that? because they just want the excuse of we don't know yet the B sample, blah blah blah. Test that B sample ASAP. The fight could have went on.
Conor Benn just texted me. He said he was embarrassed, you know, about his low sperm count. That's why he didn't want to tell nobody.
I mean, yo, that might work though. That could be the excuse to prevent him from like a 6-month suspension or something.
It
like,
could be, and all those things could be true. But this dude has kids already, so you know what I mean. Like, he got 2 kids.
He just had one.
Yeah,
he just had one.
My whole segment doesn't even matter.
So it's like, you know, I hear you guys, and I know what you guys are doing. You guys want to give him like the ultimate benefit of the doubt, but like I said, I'm okay with this dude like not being banned, letting this run through a system. Like it's not Big Baby Miller. It's not like, and in fact,
Big Baby, yeah, man.
But you got other fighters now coming out. I think it's like Chris Van Heeden or something like that, saying he believes that Conor Benn was using when he beat him. So now you got other fighters coming out the woodwork, kind of how with Antonio Margarito in the loaded raps with Shane Mosley. You got other fighters coming out the woodwork now, like, yo, we think this dude was cheating. They did a comparison of his body from his last fight to this fight, and that dude looked like he put on solid muscle. And you know about putting on weight. You know about putting on weight. That
you know the yoker you get, the whoop it becomes.
Big Farmer Miller, y'all brought it up, taking the bodega pills, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Why? So why would he? Even if it was, why would he need the drug? Yo, see, at the end of the day, right? I think,
you know what? I'm a flip flop. You know what? I have to agree with Caden, man. Principled decision. I honestly thought there could have been a window where maybe something happened where we won't know. But if it's like one of those drugs where it's like, nah, we know what these athletes are doing.
Yeah.
Then it's like, nah, shame on him. He got to get suspended because he
no. I'm not gonna flip flop, right? Because I'm still the love doctor. I was just saying, you know. Now I wasn't privy to the type of medicine that he took. I just looked at what fertility pills do. And if that was in case, he was definitely trying to, you know, but if he was, I don't think that he should be banned. This is the first time, you know, I don't believe, just
not
like
banned. I do think a 6-month suspension. Because the magnitude of this fight, true, there's a lot of factors. We violated this dude, Chris Eubank, for the longest on this show. But Chris Eubank is the one that's starving himself to make weight for this fight. Mm-hmm. So he's coming at a deficit. And not to mention, look at all the other fighters on that undercard that probably had to lose weight, to do all kind of stuff. Some fighters, they might have shipped in from other countries. You know what I mean? People who are flying from different countries, from the U.S., from the motherland, probably some people from Asia or Eastern Europe, all going to the U.K. to see this show. And everyone now can't go because my man's intentionally taking some fertility drugs. You got to get suspended. There has to be some form of punishment. You know what I mean? And the fact that Eddie is still trying to have a fight is outrageous, bro.
I'm talking about for everybody. Just how they did. I'm thinking the treatment for everybody. When they get their first chance, they get the benefit of the doubt. You know, when this happens to everybody, we all give them the benefit of the doubt. If it happens again, you know what we do. We go in. You know what I'm saying? I have been one of the ones that's been passionate on this channel and go in on the cheaters. But I also believe that in second chances, I wouldn't be here without a second chance. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't be standing here with you fine gentlemen if it wasn't for a second chance. So I believe in second chances. So if, in case this does happen again, then yeah, we can go in on them. But seeing that this is the first time this happened, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully the next time he comes around, he will be clean. You know, Kaden said something on this show a lot of times. It was be good.
Be good or be good at it.
Or be good at it. You know what I'm saying?
And that was gonna be my man Caden's closing today, but you kind of messed it up.
No. Go ahead. You good. Go ahead. Cook, brother. Cook. Go ahead, cook.
No.
The man has a soft Conor Benn interception. You know
wait. Let Trill finish real quick, and then the TV can go.
I'm done. I was just saying that. No, I do agree. After getting all the information from you, brother, I do agree that something he does have to take accountability. If this is an issue where he has been doing, like with myself, the first thing I had to do was stop playing victim and take the accountability for the things that I have done. And that's what helped me get better and drive and become a stronger individual. So I totally agree with that part. And I think that if this is a situation that Conor Benn does, but as far as this crime is concerned, just like other cases in the world, usually if a kid does something, his first offense, he usually gets a slap on the wrist. You know what I'm saying?
If it's not too serious.
If it's not too serious. If it's not too much.
You don't want to ruin someone's life.
Yeah, they stopped it. Yeah, they don't want to ruin, and they stopped the fight from happening before it even happened. So kudos to them, and they postponed it. So I do want to shout out, like you said, G, I do want to shout out Chris Eubank. That was one thing that I did want to say before we ended this, because he did make the sacrifice to lose weight and to cut down, even though he was having what you were saying, Katie. He did seem like he was putting in a built-in excuse with the only 60% thing. You know what I'm saying?
He's going up against a drug cheat.
Now it's 40%. No,
he said 61% because he ate a piece of cake the other day. Now you got 61%.
He was a troll.
So now, we're just gonna monitor this, and hopefully this never happens again. Hopefully this never happens again. I'm sorry, TB.
Yeah, TV.
Nah, you good, man. I just want to say to our audience, we do show grace to some fighters when they pop positive for the first time. Like when the news broke with Big Baby, we did show them a little grace. We didn't say it on air, but we said it amongst ourselves, like in our group chats. And hope it's not that serious. Hope it's not too severe. Then it was more than, and then the next week, more than 5, 6, 7 substances was found in his blood. We said about Canelo. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Come and find out it was the chicken. We said about Fury. Hopefully it's not too serious. It's the boar meat. We said about Dillian, and it was they couldn't get the sample.
Jack 3D.
Yeah.
But we have someone who took Jack 3D on this panel who co-signed that Jack.
Oh, son.
Jack,
I'm talking about Conor Benn. Hold on, you're talking about Conor Benn? Yo, take Jack 3D, son. Yo, your thing go like this to woo, like yeah. I remember I told you I was at the gym. Son, I was like, oh my God. Yo, man, listen, I don't want to think about Jack 3D. Thank God they been that. Yo, my God. Bruh, man, don't take Jack, yo. Jack should only be for women, son. That's crazy. Oh man,
yo,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Ned.
I'm just saying we don't come out the gate with the actions to take these fighters' heads off. We try to be reasonable with them, and then they keep messing up. So that's all I had to say. You guys can close it out and finish saying what you got to say. But G,
yeah, I want to say this. I forgive Conor Benn already. And you can't, for example, you can't say he did it in his past fights because he took testing, and if he was signed to VADA then he passed all his tests. So you can't just go back and then say, retroactively he was using it in all his fights. He only tests positive for this fight. And like Trill pointed out, the fight didn't even happen. So he didn't step in the ring and it didn't happen. If he rids his system of this, and they started all over again, start a new camp, postpone the fight, I'm okay with him getting the fight. The one thing I want to highlight, because I feel like there's a difference between accountability and forgiveness, is I forgive Conor Benn, and I believe in second chances. I'm all about it. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes in some avenues of life. I made mistakes in different avenues of life where I received forgiveness. But it starts with me being accountable. And in certain areas of life where you make a mistake or you're looking for forgiveness, there are people who are impacted by it, what you did. And so you got to accept it. and it's actually learning from it that allows you to move on, and that makes you a better person when you realize how you impacted everyone else, right? So even if you say Conor Benn, you believe him, look at the people on the undercard who spent their money, training camp, hotel, everything. Their livelihood depends on boxing. They're not getting a check for that. Even you don't feel something for that. So like there's a lot of reasons. But I think like there's accountability and forgiveness. I think
that's why he has to get punished. There has to be a punishment. I can forgive you. You still gotta take an L somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. There has to be a punishment.
He should I think his punishment should be they should postpone the fight. He should take a smaller purse and give that percentage of his purse to those fighters on the undercard
I agree with that. I can rock
who
with that.
lost the money. Because like you ever see like when Ray Rice, what he did to his fiance, now wife, he deserved to be punished. Accountability. Here's a great example of accountability and forgiveness. I think he needed accountability. So he needed to be punished. He hit his fiance, now wife. He needs some accountability. But at some point, I think he should have been allowed to go back into the league and play so he can provide for his family. You can't say you're holding him accountable for his wife when they're still together, and you punishing him is hurting his and her bottom line. She needs his income for he and their child to live. And you're still saying, no, we're not letting him in the league because of what he did to his wife. They're still together. You're the one doing it to his wife now. You're the one not allowing his wife and his family to gain money because you're still claiming that you held him accountable. When you suspended him for a year, you held him accountable. Now the forgiveness. Now let this man have a second chance at being better. And Ray Rice went on to become an advocate against domestic violence. And it's been years and we haven't heard anything of any sort of the Ray Rice repeating this. See, he should have been forgiven. He should have been given a second chance after he was held accountable. You see what I'm saying? So it's not that like I'm against second chances. I'm all for second chances. But I believe accountability needs to be placed in there. And I think for Conor Benn, his accountability needs to be, one, if he's claiming he didn't know, first positive test, cool. But your actions impacted so many people. You should be held accountable for that. And then after that, I say make the fight again.
How about this? Question. No, hold on. Before you end it, Trill. If in fact Chris Eubank Jr. was also like found like to test positive for a banned substance, would they? Do you think we should have sort of had the fight? Like we should have just said, "Hey, yo, just both of these."
Everybody else answer that.
Bang it out. I'm gonna be honest, personally.
Yeah, they both had something in them. Get it on. You know what I'm saying? Dirty and dirty. It's gonna get dirty and dirty, baby.
Dirty and dirty.
Who's the dirtiest?
Hole in the mud. Yo, I've said this before. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, Trill, about to be good at it. How many people are just so good at it, or too big to fail, that they just get away with? You know, this was almost one of those situations. They said they had these results for 2 weeks. And the only reason it came out is because someone leaked it.
Probably.
What if someone leaked it?
Senior. Probably Eubank Senior leaked it.
But no, for real. What if it never got leaked and that fight would have continued?
Somebody didn't get paid.
Exactly. How many times has this happened in boxing? Where someone popped positive, they swept it under the rug and you got to look at it like this. Here's what I give Eubank Jr. credit for. They said Eubank Jr. knew this about 2 weeks ago. He's sitting on Hello Britain and Conor Benn's talking all this mess and he's just like, I'm going to be 60%. And he got like this smug look on his face, and Conor Benn is being seen as like the good guy. Even by me, I want Conor Benn to knock his block off. Yeah, and if Conor Benn would have knocked his block off, I would have been jumping up in my house like, he did it. And he was juiced up. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I give Eubank so much credit for, he showed way more class than I knew he was showing at the time. And I respect that. But if they were both
wanted to get it on.
Yeah, if they both were cheating though, I think it should be up to the fighters. You know,
I'm telling you, if I was Eubank, I would have been like, hold on, he on what? I'm going to the local bodega pub down there and grabbing me whatever's on the rack. You know what I'm saying? Let's even this out. Let's go. You know what I'm
he
saying?
said he's going to Marquez him.
Tit for tat. Got you now. Please let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We're just getting started. We are the Boxing Bros.